Hey YouTube, this is Alan here, and I'm just showing you what I've been doing lately. Started off making some glass pendants, and then I've moved into making glass beads. And these are some of my bead creations. Little skull, that was my first time trying that. And a lot of these are sort of just kind of what happened when I put the glass to the torch. Hey YouTube, Alan here. I'm going to make a bead. Just put on my safety glasses and let's see. Let's make my signature bead. I'd like to make hearts and put a little flower on them. So let's do a clear green heart. So first you have to warm up the glass. If you put the glass right in the flame, it cracks and pops all over the place. You can burn yourself. I have not burned myself yet, and this has been about a month I've been doing this, and just really having a ball. I've really found my love. I love making soap, but this is even better. I have a ton of soap right now, so I stopped making that for a while. And when I need some more, I'm sure I'll make another video of that. But for now, it's going to be glass and beads. Behind me, there's a kiln going. I just made 9 beads, all the same size. I learned an awesome way. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is get my base of glass down for my heart. And I'm going to make these pretty big. These are about 1 inch. So I usually do like 3 or 4 little rows, and the glass is sort of like the consistency of a thick honey or caramel. And I try to make my first pass very smooth. It just makes it easier later. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to start building on the empty end side here, the side furthest away from my hand. So one more. Okay. So I'm going to let that cool for a second because I'm going to be applying a lot more glass on here, and I want it to really be stuck to the mandrel. And if you go too quick and pull too hard, it comes loose and it's really a pain in the neck, and let me tell you, I've learned my lesson. So here we go. I'm going to add a little bit more to the middle. And then as I work my way, I'm going to add more and more. This rod is a little thicker than I'm used to, so it's kind of a pain. So let me take some off here. Work my way to the end. Now I'm going to put a big rim on this end, and then I can start making my harp shape. You really have to start off with a kind of a triangular shape or a wedge shape to get the heart correctly. And a little bit more on this side. I try to make it as even as I can and as rounded as I can, and I can see by this I need to put just a little bit more right down at the very beginning. One of the things about working with glass is you can't let too much any area cool down too much because it can actually crack. So now that I have that pretty much the amount of glass I want on there, I'm going to start liquefying it. And you can kind of coax the glass where you want it to go. And if you can see that, hopefully you can. If not, you'll have to trust me. It's pretty amazing just to watch glass melt. This has really been an amazing journey to get here. As you know, I did some fused pendants, and that got me into the beginning of my glass. I love glass. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is bring this upside down, because I want it to be kind of rounded at the bottom side, and glass will flow down and it'll float towards the flame. So there we go, and I'm going to let that cool a bit. And then what I'm going to do is mash it. The other thing you have to do is you have to keep things spinning or they totally get out of warped. Okay, so I just mashed that. I don't know if you can see it. The beginning of my bead. And anytime you use a cold tool on it, it leaves these funny rings. I forget the name of it, but in another video I'll tell you. And those rings have to be fire polished off. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is heat up one side at a time, and then I'm going to use my trusty little tooth dentist tool here, and I'm going to create the little bump in the heart on one side and then the other. And what this will do is it'll just let me push the glass. I'm not quite sure if this is going to come on video, but it allows me to create that little divot or that little line that hearts have to create that lovely shape. And then I'd like to hang it upside down again. Warm it up. Okay. Now I want to let this cool just a little bit because I want it to be secure on our mandrel. And the next thing I'm going to do is turn down my flame because I want just a nice, soft, cushy flame here. I don't want it to happen too quickly. And I'm going to add a little flower. And the flower is I'm going to do a yellow dot in the center. And then I'm going to do some white dots on the outside. And this can be tricky sometimes. First you have to kind of decide where the best place is. I'm going to go over here. And you have to fire cut that off. And I like to use the marver and kind of push it in flat. I was doing one of these yesterday and it totally cracked on me because I wasn't working fast enough and wasn't keeping it heated. And now I'm going to use a small, what's called a stringer that I pulled from a bigger rod, because this part glass, the white glass actually loves to flow quickly. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to use a smaller one way outside here, making sure I keep my heart warm. And I'm going to place dots on for my flower. And I'm going to place 5. And there's 4, and one more is 5. Okay, make sure my bead stays heated all the way around. And then what I try to do is see which ones need any more. And then I will put a little bit more on the dots that look a little bit smaller. Just because you want the petals to be somewhat equal. Okay. Keep this all warm here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat in the center and use my little tool again here, and what I'm going to do is pull the petal towards the middle. That way it's connected to the yellow part. I want the white connected to the yellow. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. Keep this nice and torch. Let me make this big cushy flame here. Okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little flower on there now. And I'm going to add just one more dollop of yellow in the middle. And I want to straighten out one of these flower petals because it's a little crooked. So I'm going to warm it up, make sure this tool is cool so it doesn't stick. And then I'm going to just pull this to where I want it. There we go. And now I'm going to add one little dollop of yellow in the center, and we'll be done with this little flower.